Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Surya, the senior SHE engineer from WOPEC Business Unit Singapore. I oversee the safety, health, environment, and sustainability function from a centralized position at BU Singapore. So what is WOPEC or who is WOPEC? We are the world's leading storage infrastructure service provider. We are a Dutch MNC based off in Rotterdam, Netherlands, and we operate 78 terminals across 23 companies. So what do I mean by providing infrastructures for what do I mean by providing infrastructures? It means that we provide storage tanks for our customers who are basically oil majors around the world, like ExxonMobil, Shell, etc. And we help them to transfer these products, or we help them to do blending of their products as per their specifications to their customers as well. So our mode of operations is shipping in to the shore tanks and then shipping out through the vessels or through the ISO tankers that may be coming into our terminals. So in Singapore itself, we are operating five entities or terminals, as you may call it. Three of them are in Jurong Island. These are Banyan Terminal, Sakra Terminal, and Banyan Cave Storage Services. One of it is in mainland, which is at Penjuru Terminal, approximately 3 kilometers away from Pandan Reservoir. And your focal point for today would be Sebarok Terminal, which is an oil and bunkering hub. So what is Sebarok? Like I mentioned earlier, it's an oil and bunkering hub sited at Pulau Sebarok, which is approximately 0.5 nautical miles away from Pulau Bukom, where the former Shell, now currently known as Esther, is sited. Being an offshore entity, we generate our own electricity for our utilities such as admin building lightings, air conditioning systems, and tank mixers through diesel generators. So what are tank mixers? These are similar to, in the layman term, the equipment they used to make cake batter. They're similar to that. So why we have them in the tanks is because some of our clients will require blending of the product before it's being sent to their customers. Why this is important is because when our mixers are operating, that's where the peak of electrical consumption is, which results in a peak in diesel consumptions as well. So total, we got four DGs, diesel generators. From March of 2023, there was an initiative from the then management at Sebarok Terminal to run only one diesel generators on the daytime to see the impact in terms of diesel consumption reduction. And this operational philosophy is for one diesel generator to run at the maximum of 24 hours before it's being switched over to the next diesel generator. So from 2024, this was changed to operating only one generator uh, in the whole operational day. So that has also resulted in quite a significant reduction of diesel consumption. Right. So if you look at the GHG emissions perspective in 2024, Subaru itself contributed close to 80% of the GHG emissions at 6,500 tons of CO2 emissions, while the whole of Singapore business unit was at around 8,100 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions. So 2025 is no different, is expected to be the same. And on the average, annual diesel consumption is at around 670 cubic meters annually, right? And we've tested a lot of other options in our journey towards reducing GHG. So one of them was the use of additives, which was not economically viable because we had to spend close to 60K to save the $15,000 in consumption. So that did not work. And then we are also now in parallel looking at biofuel usage and also possibly harvesting solar energy as a complementary source of energy at Sebaru itself. So key stakeholders are uh, common knowledge would be our terminal manager, who is the overall site in charge, and he's got a OPEX and CAPEX that he needs to look at. And we've got a maintenance manager because from the solution that you provide, there may be some maintainability issues that he or she needs to look at before the solution can be approved at our end, if it's viable. And then as the sustainability coordinator, I've also have got a vested interest in your solution, because at the end of the day, it also to be selfish, you'll also elevate my own profile as a sustainable leader in the organization. So the challenge statement, if you choose it, it would be to reduce GHG emissions from diesel generators at the Sebarok terminal in a cost-effective manner. Our technical requirements are pretty straightforward. We want a compatible solution, which means that we are looking at very minimal alterations or modifications to existing diesel generators. We want a reduced downtime, because Sebarok is a trading hub, which means it's something like a stock exchange, in the sense that if the oil price increases, there's a lot of movement. If the oil price reduces, then there's a lot of purchases for storage in our tanks. So that will impact our operability if the solution takes a long downtime. And of course, being a sustainable leader and also an ESG compliant company, we also want the solution to be operable in a safe manner when it's being implemented or when it's being tested. So the performance requirements, we're looking at 10% to 20% reduction in annual diesel consumption, with power reliability remaining unchanged. So at the moment, 1 liter of diesel is providing around 4 kilowatt hours of power to us. So that's what we want for the solution to provide as well, minimally. And from a proof of concept or pilot support, like it's been already mentioned earlier on, we will provide the testing environment at Sebarok Terminal itself with a funding of up to $35,000 based on a milestone proof of concept pilot. And we will provide all the required data that the innovators require, and also, like I mentioned, support from resources like manpowers or any other things that may be required in order to ensure a safe and practical implementation of the solution in the proof of concept stage. That's all for me. If there's any question, do let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya. Yep. To the participants, please type in your questions based on the challenge statement or any other details. We get that answered. So first question for you, Surya, do you utilize seawater for your operation?
That's a good question. Seawater is predominantly used for our seawater firefighting pumps. So for the diesel engine cooling itself, it's using processed water.
Got it. Hope that answered your question, Mati Shani. Anyone else? The question? Yes. We have one question from Alok. We have a proven hydrogen-based system that has been successfully tested on large DG sets. There is a reduction of emission as well as fuel. I don't know if that's a question. Okay. So the point is the fuel reduction can be 5 to 12%. I think he's seeking an opinion on that.
If it falls into the technical requirement or the operational requirement of compatibility and safe operations, we may consider looking into it. But of course, I need the technical support from my maintenance manager to answer that question. So if it's going to take a lot of modification and that's going to lead to a downtime, then it may not be a viable solution for this. And just to answer, we're not only looking at the 4 DGs, but there are also close to 30 diesel operated loading pumps which actually move the products. When I say products, it's your petroleum, your naphtha, your condensates, etc. So there's also other opportunities. So we need to look at the entire solution from an economical viable point.
Thank you, Surya. Hope that answered your question, Alok. And Alok also asked, what if the reduction is not meeting the 10% requirement?
If it's
Surya.
not meeting the 10% requirement, then it will probably, I'll have to probably bring it to the senior management for reconsideration. Why this 10% is because in the far future, maybe 3 or 5 years down the road, we are already have plans to change over these old diesel generators and also loading pumps to more efficient equipment, which provide close to, I think, 12 to 15% of reduction. I know it's not fair, but then we also need to ensure that whatever that we are going to be implementing in the short term should at least give a viable reduction in consumption to be attractive to our management.
Got it. Thank you, Surya. Perhaps maybe Alok, you can actually put an early submission for Surya to take a look and potentially give a comment or address any gaps that you have in your submission.
Yeah, I welcome
Okay.
that a lot. Thanks.
Great. Okay, there's another question. Do you want to reduce the operational emission of the generators, or would it also work to use negative emissions technology to remove emissions after being emitted?
To reduce the diesel consumption, which translates to reduction in GHG emissions. I think this question is coming from a standpoint of including treatment units. Yeah, I could be wrong. So that's not a viable solution because the space constraint does not work in our favor to have additional treatment equipment for the emissions before it goes into the environment.
Got it. Thanks, Surya. I hope that answered your question, Nicholas. All right. I think with that, we can wrap up the first segment. Okay, we have one last question from Matishani. Do you know the volume of seawater you use per day or per year? Then there's a second question. Are you interested with a solution that may decalcify your water and with that reduce your pollution, such as scrubbing and solve pipe membrane clogging?
We are looking at GHG emissions at the moment. Your solution may probably come in a couple of years later. If maybe probably it will be SYC version 9, then we can talk about that. But at the moment, why GHG emission is because from a process viewpoint, we are managing our process activities well, I would say. But from the emissions viewpoint, we have got a lot of work to be done from the business unit level and also the corporate level. Because WOPEC is wants to be a sustainable citizen and also environment inclined citizen. So the main focus here would be the GHG emissions at the moment.
Cool. Thank you. And thanks, Matishani. Perhaps you can put in a submission under the open submission category and you'll still be able to participate. Okay, cool. I think with that, thank you very much, Surya, and thank you for representing WOPEC.